You're listening to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization, and this is Talk with Terra, a show that highlights fantastic filmmakers, artists, and entertainers, and producers and business owners from all walks of life. We're committed to introducing you to individuals, organizations, and projects of which you're not necessarily aware. And we do this with the intention of uplifting, empowering, and enlightening you. If you can, please share this episode on all of your social media platforms. We'd also love it if you text your friends and ask them to tune in. Feel free to ask questions, make comments, and/or share your thoughts at any point during the show. We promise to respond. And today we have a wonderful guest. What an honor to have her on the show, Miss LaSonya Thompson, who is the founder of the Interfaith Film and Music Film Festival. Hello, LaSonya, how are you?
Hi, Terra. How are you? I'm so excited to be here to touch base.
Well, super excited to have you on board. And I tell you, I'm a huge fan of your work. You're doing incredible things. And I'm just in awe to just to be able to let the audience hear what you're doing. So please, can you talk about your film festival and how did you get started?
Thank you, Terra. Well, we started back in 2018. And when I say we, myself and other creatives, and we were just astonished by all of the violence and terrorism that was taking place against the sacred spaces. And they were happening all across the globe in France and Israel and Pittsburgh, at Emmanuel Church in the Carolinas. And we were just trying to send a message that we could do better together than apart.
Mm-hmm. That is so powerful. Boy, now that is a true example of turning pain into power. I tell you, that is truly an example. And you're right, Emmanuel, unfortunately, one of my aunt's friends was amongst the ones who were killed at the Emmanuel Church. And one of the things that really, really struck me was how some of the family members in the height of their grief, the rawness of their grief, just got up and said, I forgive you. Boy, that was powerful. That was a very powerful moment. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was left speechless. As you can hear, I'm still speechless.
You know, and in addition to that forgiveness piece, another reason why the festival was created was because we wanted to promote diversity and inclusion of underrepresented voices. And so if it meant having awareness and understanding through film, which usually unites people together, music as well, food from different ethnicities and different faiths, then hopefully we could get to a point where we don't have to be extreme in, sharing our discontent or our disagreement with someone just because of their different perspective. And what I found in the creation of the festival is that many of the faith-based blockbuster films that we see today have been a more predictable outcome centered towards middle America. And with the Interfaith Film and Music Festival, we're trying to dig a little bit deeper than the surface and talk about some of those issues in faith and spirituality that can be painful.
Wow. And you know what, LaSonya? It's needed. Because for me, you cannot heal if you don't address the root of the problem. For me, I am done with treating the symptoms. I think it's time now to really get to the heart of the matter. And what you just said, that certainly is a pathway to that. I was very impressed. I went to your lineup and I saw these young monks I did. He was so dedicated. I was really, blown away by that. How do you go about selecting films for your festival?
We do depend on the traditional word of mouth referrals, and then sometimes we get those random inboxes from the social media. But primarily, we use platforms like Best Home, Film Freeway, Without a Box, before Amazon took over, to be able to get those types of films. And one of the films that you were mentioning, it dealt with how monks who are being trained today, when they get a break or when it's a recess from their training school, the monk school, then they go into regular society and they deviate. And it just goes to show that no matter what, human nature requires some discipline and training.
Wow. That is amazing. So I'm sure, you get tons of, and rightfully so, films dealing with the interfaith aspect. Out of all the films that you've seen, can you tell me, was there or is there a film that stood out to you to this day that you often reflect on?
Oh, so many. But what I can say is that one film highlighted the perspectives of millennials over like a 15-year time span. They were young, 15, 16, 17 at the time when it was first being collected, meaning this documentary. And then the documentary covered how their faith changed over time and when they became adults or parents or working and leaders in the community. Mm-hmm. And you could see the different perspectives of the change. And I was just kind of blown away because it hit on a lot of topics that represent so many parts of what we go through as humans, and, even in our generation. So there are a lot of issues that transcend across.
Wow. That is just, I tell you, I'm impressed. I'm totally impressed by all of your work, and certainly, we need this, LaSonya. So talk to me about the music aspect of your film festival. I thought that was very interesting. How did you come up with that?
So some faiths express themselves more so through music. And so then we wanted to make sure that we were inclusive. So you can imagine people like the Hindu faith, persons who are in the Christian faith, but because of the gospel nature, they worship and give their praise to their God or higher power through music. And so we didn't want to leave those individuals out with their creativity. And so it was very important also to make sure that, people who do spoken word and poetry, yes. We put that in that category of the music video of expressing their faith. And then some people don't even identify with a faith, but that, they, connect with some universe or some kind of just overarching humanistic perspective. And we wanted everyone at the table.
Wow. Well, on that note, we'll be right back after these messages. You'll listen to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
We're having a conversation with African American filmmakers. Join the African American Women in Cinema Filmmaker Series at the Clubhouse, presented by I Am the Color of Beautiful Global, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. AAWIC on Clubhouse. Join us on the Clubhouse app for this inspiring conversation. Hosted by Karen Moore, founder of I Am the Color of Beautiful Global. Join us this Monday at 6 p.m. on the Clubhouse app for African American Women in Cinema's Filmmaker Series.
I am Madame Francois, and I'm introducing my new luxury skincare brand that's available to you at an attainable price. Discover my beauty secrets, luxurious, effective ingredients with proven results and a price tag that doesn't break the bank. Come indulge with me at lesmadamefrancois.com.
Hi, I'm Harry O'Confetti, international Formula One driver. I sped to get to Long Island Telecom before they closed. I need to get one of these fantastic deals that Long Island Telecom has, because you can't beat the price anywhere else. Oh, get away from that car. What are you doing? Freaking kids playing with the car out there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. Wait, what do you mean you're closing? I gotta come back tomorrow? What's your number? 631-833-9679? Oh, stop writing me a ticket.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we're talking with my phenomenal guest, Miss LaSonya Thompson, who is the founder of the Interfaith Film and Music Festival. LaSonya was just talking to us before you went to break about the types of people who participate in the film festival. One of the things, LaSonya, you had said before you went to break that just really jumped out at me is the fact that you have people who don't really subscribe to faith. And that's interesting. So do you ever get films from an atheistic perspective?
It's not necessarily atheist, but more agnostic in the sense, yes, to just to show that there are times where you can use meditation and reflection and other wellness principles, whether it's the reflexology or Reiki. It could go on and on, where people find ways to find inner healing to be better on the outside.
Wow. Now this may be a little funny, and you don't have to answer this or not. Have you ever received any work, any films where you said, you know what, I can appreciate the artist, but we can't. We can't go down this road.
You are so right, Terra, and that is why I make it a point to get judges that represent different walks of life to participate. So then that way, anything that would come up as biased from my lens, I will want it to be checked and balanced from, the young, the in-between, as well as the mature in terms of the judges that are involved.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we got to get judges too. You're absolutely right. Because you want to always give people a fair opportunity. Can you describe some of your journey in creating the Interfaith Film Festival? What were some of the things that you've encountered that you said, okay, this is a lesson?
Well, one of the things of starting a young festival is getting resources, getting funding. And so as you may understand that interfaith and the word faith and spirituality, it brings up a lot of emotion. And so then some sponsors, they don't want to touch it, right? And then others who are in the wellness and health communities, they're like, oh, this is a great opportunity. And what I had to do, because one particular organization such as Chick-fil-A, well, the CEO is, very vocal about his faith, right? But his faith is very traditional and, has a lot of conservatism to it. And so then interfaith isn't exclusionary. It's, everyone comes in. And so then having those sponsorship dollars, where we are having to X out a certain type of people from participating in the festival was one thing that was part of the journey. Then the second part of the journey is working with the strategic partners because part of our festival, we try to use highlight a particular day, related to wellness. So like our first year, we did a day on World AIDS Day. We did it in partnership with the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development and Health Equity. And their reason for partnering with us is because they wanted to address stigma in faith communities when it came to HIV and AIDS outreach. And so then we were able to get films that were related to that topic of, how can faith organizations respond in a loving way, in a caring way. But then if they're just too nervous to provide services, refer them over to the city, and then the city can help the person, right? Because, we don't want to leave anybody behind. We've also had a day where we honor United Nations Human Awareness Day, yes. And so then that theme is, making sure that we, as just a society, are providing equality and equity to all cultures and all nations across the globe. So then partnering with interfaith groups to be able to, screen on issues of human trafficking, having to deal with, eating issues, and how we treat animals and the environment. So it just would span a lot. But with all of that partnership comes a lot of work.
Yes. Now, you're absolutely right with that. And that's where a lot of people don't, know. And the work in executing the work that comes with these partnerships, was there anything in that you said, okay, this is a lesson?
Oh, absolutely. When working with the city agencies, yes, we were so grateful because they were so giving in terms of their social media platform to advertise. They provided a community center, so that meant facilities and all of the security and everyone on a Saturday. We were able to use some of their experts to speak on the panel, but they wanted us, yes, and it was wonderful. But then they were like, oh, but, you can't charge. And we were like, how do we cover the filmmaker's licensing fee? And then what about, the people that need to show up and help out behind the scenes? And, even though it's going across the city's social media page, everyone's not watching the city's social media platforms. So, we incurred the cost, but, at the same time, it was one of those things where we were like, okay, when we get a heavy-duty sponsor, then we'll circle back to the city again. But, it was a good experience because the goal was really for the community that we were trying to serve and not necessarily just the bottom line, although that's important. To all of those future film festival directors out in the audience, but you have to do a cost-benefit analysis in anything that you do.
That is so true. Now, LaSonya, I wanted to talk to you too about the transition from actually physically doing the festival live to now going online. But before you respond, we'll be right back. After these messages, you'll listen to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. We provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue to provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.maureen'shaven.org or call us at 631-727-683.
I am Madame Francois, and I'm introducing my new luxury skincare brand that's available to you at an attainable price. Discover my beauty secrets, luxurious, effective ingredients with proven results, and a price tag that doesn't break the bank. Come indulge with me at lesmadamefrancois.com.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Woman in Cinema, and today we're talking to Miss LaSonya Thompson, founder of the Interfaith Film Festival and Music. So, Miss LaSonya, now that what the country, actually the whole wide world, have been experiencing, to me, it came to a screeching halt. Just literally seemed like one day you were able to do everything you want, fly, jump on the plane, go here, there, invite like 100 friends to come to a restaurant, sit down and eat, celebrate birthday, or whatever the case may have been, to not being able to do that. So how was it transitioning on from live to online? How was that?
Terra, it was a journey indeed. One, because it meant having to do a lot of demos with people who were providing the technology in the space. And in addition to that, finding the technology that a person who's 70 years old, who has no inkling about how to deal with technology, would be able to plug and play and, easily navigate, all the way to being interesting, where the younger audience and the interns who were helping out would feel that they weren't working with a dinosaur technology. Another thing was looking at how do we add value in the eyes of the sponsors, because the sponsors, they want to see, they like pictures and seeing people, having a good time at the parties and watching the films, to now saying, okay, how do we get them to feel more engaged besides a banner or a logo on the website? And then one of the challenges is working with remote teams, because, you're having to get on these Zoom meetings with individuals. You're having to share documents with them. You're asking for them to keep things confidential. You don't know if they're going to email it to that person. You don't know who's in the room with them when you're talking with them about very critical issues. So it stretched me a lot. But, at the same time, I just wanted to be relevant for the future generations. And so whatever crying and whatever sobbing I was doing from the old days that I was so attached to, I had to let go of it quickly.
I hear you. Wow. What a unique journey. And, I have to be honest with you, because once I got the link to, certainly purchase tickets and to experience it, it looked phenomenal. It looked absolutely phenomenal. So once you were able to go through, I call it the gauntlet, to make it happen.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
How did it feel? How was that feeling for you each day that it was online? And how was that, how did you feel about that?
Yes. Well, I was on the edge of my seat because what I'm having to rely on is just, hoping that the people would show up, making sure that my numbers, were there, because, I'm going to use all of this analytical data for the sponsorship kits and media kits for the future. So, wanted to make sure that I was available for any technical issues that were taking place. And then, making sure that having all of the pieces to work. So then the experience for the customer was good so that we could get those reviews during and after. And then also each day, we were wanting to have an element of the films, but then also the element of music. So then, making sure that people, were able to understand, okay, you go over here for the films, and then you go another place for some of the music and the gathering. So I bit all of my nails, but I'm here today on this radio show.
Wow. So you get the prize. You get the award for endurance. Congratulations.
And Terra, I just want to add that one of the things we had to do was provide digital certificates, because we wanted to give recognition to the filmmakers, honoring them for the votes from the audience as well as those from the judges. And part of that was just making sure that the filmmakers, in their agreement and participation with the film festival, that they knew that they had to also participate in the social media awareness and getting things out, because we didn't want it to just be a one-way thing of the festival, but we wanted everyone who was involved to be at the plate, ready to swing.
Yeah. That's good. That's very, very good. So do you think, LaSonya, this is a platform that you're going to continue, or are you waiting for or to be able to do it live again?
I would love, Terra, to do a hybrid experience. However, I'm based in New York City, and so our government officials and health officials are a little bit more cautious than maybe in Texas or Florida, where they're saying, hey, everyone can just handle themselves. And so I, want to take a cautionary steps, making sure that no one, is hurt or in harm's way because of the festival. So I'll stay online as long as possible. But the other piece of it is how do I become less dependent on a third party's platform, and how do I stretch myself to see how can the festival provide the platform, so then that way I'm not, having to rely on someone else to get my data, and for them to also be the support system, which is important, to have support, but then to bring things internally, so then that way it could take some of that nervousness out of it.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good. LaSonya, what are some of the highlights that you can share in your process? What was that? There's a couple of things actually I want to ask. The aha moment, and really that confirming moment, I call it, that says something happened that made you say, I knew I was right to do this.
Well, Terra, it was funny because there is a gentleman who heads up the LIU Brooklyn writing program. And I was able to touch base with him because he wrote for Touched by an Angel. It was a very popular show in the 90s, 2000s. Yes. And yes, and we were able to do a partnership together where he could use his influence from writing on that show to connect with some other writers to be on a panel for the Interfaith Film and Music Festival, and talking about writing faith-based stories for TV. And that was such rewarding for me because, number one, faith-based topics have been around in Hollywood for a long time. It's just that it belonged by, one particular culture, and it was the white male. And to be able to partner with the white male who had all of the opportunities to then partner with the Black female or person of color, and then to invite other persons of color onto the panel here in 2020 made a big difference for me, because that meant that Hollywood was changing.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, LaSonya, I don't know where the time went, but they're telling me that we have to go.
We were just getting started.
I know, we certainly were. But I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Can you please give out your social media platforms so that the audience can certainly follow you?
Absolutely. I want to remind everyone the festival is December 9th through the 12th, 2021. You can reach me at Interfaith Film Fest on Instagram, on Facebook. You can also submit your films and music projects on filmfreeway.com. And then you can also just shout out and let other people know once you do follow us that they need to join you too in being a part of the festival.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for listening to Talk with Terra. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization. You can visit us online at www.aawic.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Talk with Terra is made possible by Rude Rangers Entertainment. Our creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Please don't forget to like and share this episode with as many people as possible. We sincerely appreciate you joining us today and wish you continued peace, blessings, and prosperity. See you next episode.